you need to be pre-ordering your comic books. That's true if you're a collector or if you just want to read them monthly like me. By the end of this video, you'll know why, and more importantly, you'll know how. I picked up some of my pre-orders from my local shop. This was in here, the Brian Bolland covered Absolute Batman 15, and the guy checking me out said, wow, what a good pickup. This was sold out in hours, and the secret to that is I pre-ordered. It was no stress at all. But I do know that stress of going to the comic book store, especially if you're not used to doing it, if you're not going regularly, you may want to follow something, but there's that uncertainty of if I show up, is the latest issue of Transformers, is the latest issue of Absolute Batman going to actually be there? And what's so exciting about pre-ordering is not just getting on the ground floor of these stories, but being a really important part of the signal that's sent to the publishers about what readers want. If you're stuck waiting for trades, which I understand, maybe that's a financial necessity for you, but if you're stuck waiting for trades, by the time you get to the series you want, it might be canceled. Okay, so let's go through the basics of how this works. There's something you might have seen called FOC, that's Final Order Cutoff. That usually falls on a Monday, but your store is going to want those orders. Mine wants them Sunday, some want them Friday. So if you're looking at the comics that have the FOC of a specific date, know that those are coming out about 3 weeks after whenever that cutoff is. My store uses Comic Hub as sort of their internet portal for this, but also you can just ask the person who works there to place these orders for you. And one of the great things about this, and why I say you should do this if you're a collector, I'm here to just read the comics and take in the stories. If they gain value later, that's great, but it's not really my aim. But you can pick your variants. Now you should pay attention, there are things called incentive variants, and if you don't know what those are, it's typically 1 for 10, 1 for 25, they do get even higher, but essentially the publisher is telling to the retailers, if you buy X amount of books, you get one of these variants. And the shop is going to want to recoup that cost. So typically, like on my site, it says, please inquire on those. I don't mess with incentive variants. I don't care enough to do that. But there's a ton of variants that are just open to order. This thing was open to order. I mean, it costs $1 extra because it's on the cardstock, but that's the typical DC thing. And to me, the great thing about all of this is, like, if you mess up, if you miss something, you're just back at square one. You're back at that experience you're already having where you can just show up at the shop and see what they have.